Close your eyes and imagine yourself journeying back through time, back through centuries of stories, dreams, and the gentle whisper of merchants traveling across vast, golden deserts. We begin our journey not at a place, but at a moment of wonder. Picture a woman in ancient China, thousands of years before our story truly begins, discovering something extraordinary. According to legend, she was the wife of the Yellow Emperor, and while sipping her tea one afternoon, a silkworm cocoon accidentally fell into her cup. As she watched the hot water unravel the fine, shimmering thread, she saw something that would change the course of human history forever. She had discovered silk. This discovery was so precious, so magical in appearance, that it became sacred in China. Women began carefully tending mulberry trees and raising silkworms in a process they called sericulture. For thousands of years, the Chinese kept this art a profound secret, shared only among themselves, guarded like treasure. The silkworm goddess was honored with temples and rituals, and those who worked with silk in ancient China, mostly women, were respected craftspeople whose skill was unmatched anywhere in the world. By the time we reach the Han Dynasty, around the 3rd century before our modern era, something remarkable had happened. Silk was no longer just a luxury for emperors and their families. It had become so important to China's economy that it served as currency itself. Peasants paid their taxes in silk. The government paid its officials in silk. It became the universal equivalent of value. Can you imagine? In a world where gold and gems held power, China found its greatest treasure in the delicate thread of a tiny worm. But a thread, no matter how precious, is meant to be shared. And so begins the part of our story where China looked westward for the first time. It started with a man named Zhang Qian. In 138 before our Common Era, the great Emperor Wu the Great had a problem to solve. The Xiongnu, a powerful nomadic people who threatened China's borders, were becoming too strong. The emperor needed an ally. He needed someone brave enough to venture into the unknown lands far to the west, across mountains that seemed to touch the sky, through deserts that were spoken of only in whispers. He chose Zhang Qian. Zhang Qian's journey was perilous and unexpected. He was captured almost immediately and held by the very people he tried to escape from. For years, he remained in captivity, separated from his home, his family, his entire world. But Zhang Qian was patient. He was curious. And eventually, he managed to escape and continue westward. When he finally returned to China after more than a decade of travel, he brought something more valuable than military alliances. He brought knowledge. He had discovered not enemies, but neighbors, peoples with horses, with culture, with things China had never seen before. The second expedition that followed would change everything. In 119 before our era, Zhang Qian set out once more, this time with a clearer purpose. He carried with him not weapons of war, but gifts of peace, horses, cattle, sheep, gold, and silk. When he returned, he brought back something extraordinary. He had established trade. Real, lasting, meaningful trade with the peoples of Central Asia. Around 130 before our era, these exploratory journeys crystallized into something formal, something deliberate, something permanent. The Silk Road was officially opened. It wasn't a single road, you understand, but rather a vast network of trade routes, over 4,000 miles long, stretching from the great city of Xi'an in the heart of China westward through mountain passes and across endless deserts. The Taklamakan Desert, which traders called the Sea of Death, stood as one of the most fearsome obstacles on this route. Its black pebble-strewn surface stretched for hundreds of miles, with sand dunes rising 200 to 300 meters high. In winter, temperatures plummeted below freezing. In summer, the sand itself reached temperatures of 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And yet, merchants came. Camels, Those noble ships of the desert could carry up to 500 pounds each, making them the only reasonable way to traverse such hostile terrain. These caravans would travel together, using ancient oasis towns as rest stops, places like Kashgar, Khotan, and Dunhuang, where water and shelter could be found. And what was the treasure they sought so desperately? What was worth braving such impossible journeys? It was silk.